Hey everybody, and welcome to the D-Train and Juan-aconda show. I'm Juan-aconda.
And I'm D-Train.
How's everybody doing on this beautiful Sunday morning, August 16th, 2020 at 11:28 in the morning?
I'm a little hungover, but other than that, I'm doing okay.
I'm not hungover, as I do not consume of the spirits. However, I am a little bit ragged from all of this smoke we have going on in the air from... I was not aware because I'm completely disconnected from reality. I thought we had one forest fire in Fort Collins. Turns out we have a plethora of forest fires.
Yeah, we got about 7 of them here in Colorado. Most in the mountains, but actually, yes, all in the mountains.
So question, how come it's always in the mountains? Why is it never out in the plains?
Because there's forests in the mountains.
But there's grasses and...
No, there's been shit in the plains too, but it just doesn't last very long.
Why not?
Because it burns off.
But the wind blows.
Yeah, the wind does blow.
I'm just wondering.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
we don't have forest fires near residential areas, right?
Well, it's probably easier to contain some shit that's in the prairie lands than it is in high fucking trees that just keep going up and burning, and then the embers just keep flying around everywhere.
Aside from us speculating on what's currently taking place with the fires and where and how they should be located, today we're going to talk about dreams, dream interpretations, and sort of anything along the lines of dreams and our thoughts and perspectives on what they are and what they could be. But we're going to lead off here with Google's definition of what a dream is. And it says here, dream. A dream is a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntary in the mind during certain stages of sleep. The content and purpose of dreams are not fully understood, although they have been a topic of scientific, philosophical, and religious interest throughout recorded history.
That is true. It started with Freud. He was the first one to bring, well, probably started way before that, but he's the first one to kind of bring it to light and talk about it a little bit more. He was also, wasn't he like a pedophile too? No, he was, no, he did something weird. He had some, he was a weird sex guy too.
Well, he was Greek, right?
Freud
was German.
No, he was German.
Oh.
It was German back in like the 1800s, I want to say.
He was a psychotherapist, right? Or
yeah.
Psychologist?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think he slept with his patients or something too.
See, Descartes is one of the originals. Descartes' dream argument began with the claim that dreams and waking life can have the same content. There is, Descartes alleges, a sufficient similarity between the two experiences for dreamers to be routinely deceived into believing that they are having a waking experiences while we are actually asleep and dreaming. Sort of like deja vu, but in reverse, right? So imagine you're really tired. You've been going hard. You've been working. You finally have 5 minutes to sit down in your chair, and you just put your feet up, put a show on, and you zonk out, right? You pass out.
Yeah.
And then you wake up 15 minutes later. You felt like you've been gone for days or weeks or hours. You don't know what day of the week or time or, what's going on. Have you ever had one of those dream experiences?
Yeah. I mean, usually with those little quick naps, either you feel like, holy shit, like just zonked out, or you're just more tired because, I don't know, you just didn't get enough sleep on that one. But yeah, I've had a couple experiences like that. You?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't get much time to sit down and relax, and the moments that I do, that usually ends up happening. But I'll sit down, I'll put a show on. Like, okay, for example, I cut my finger 2 weeks ago on the food processor, and got stitches that day, and that afternoon, Laura took the girls to the park, right, for 30 minutes, just so I could have a couple minutes. So I kicked my legs up in my dad chair. I got this show on that I'm watching. I'm not really paying attention. I'm feeling like, okay, I'm just gonna close my eyes for a minute, just because my finger hurts. It's been a crazy day, and I close my eyes and I pass out, right? And I'm off somewhere doing something. I can't really remember what it was, but then I'm literally waking up every 3 minutes. Right? Like, oh, what time is it? Where am I? Oh my God, I forgot what I was doing, right? So Descartes plays along that moment that, okay, reality and dreams can have coincidences or coincidental moments or feelings or emotions in them. However, he also believes that this reality is a dream, and that we are living in a dream, and when we go to sleep, we're expanding our place of dream.
I get what you're saying on that one. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Like, I mean, we don't really quite 100% know, and we can just speculate. But I do know one thing with dreams. It's kind of crazy how old memories can just, like, pop up. You know, like, living in an old house. Like, I mean, and it just, like, I don't know. It's so crazy. And then, like, people that you see in your dreams, you're just like, how in the fuck did I think of that person? I haven't thought of them in years, you know? That's the crazy shit that I just blows my mind when it comes to dreams. Like, I mean, I think of my boyhood house all the time, and I don't know why. Like, I mean, it just, like, somewhere just drifts in there, and it just, like, I can just see my old house, and I'm just living in it, and then, I don't know, some crazy shit's gonna happen, like, you know, some monster comes out, or whatever the hell it is, you know? But it's so crazy how just those little memories, or I'll think of someone from high school, and it's just like, yo, I haven't thought of that. We're going on almost 20 years of being out of high school, and you're just like, why the hell did I think of that person, you know? That's the crazy shit that I just can't wrap my head around.
Maybe that other person had a thought about you.
Oh, okay. I could see that little connection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
I could see that.
Because, okay, so, again, you know, we have Google's current definition of what dreams are, where they say it's a succession of images, ideas, emotions, sensations that occur completely involuntary, right?
That's a psychologist fucking or psychiatrist or whatever coming up with that kind of thing. It's really what it is.
The point of this description is this is MSM knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
if you're between the age of, 14 and 35 and you want to go and look at what a dream is, and you type in what is a dream, this is the first thing that mainstream knowledge is showing you, right?
Yeah.
But when you begin to research philosophies and philosophers and different religions and different
So many different interpretations of that.
you can go back to Rumi. And I don't know if you've ever heard of who Rumi was. He was I can't pronounce this, and I'm probably going to murder it trying to pronounce it. Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Rumi, also known as Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Baqi Melvana Malwana Melvevi Mawai, and more, popularly known as
Yo, this
Rumi.
motherfucker's got like 15 names.
So he was a 13th century Persian poet.
So 1200s, yeah.
Islamic scholar, theologian, and Sufi mystic from Greater Khorasan in Iran. Okay? So we're talking 800 years ago, 700 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
700 years ago, Rumi is all of these things, right? And one of his top quotes, and I want to bring it up for you because it's very inspirational. Right here. Open your eyes, for this world is only a dream. This place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. So 700 years ago, the human perception and mind that did not have the internet, that did not have a multitude of scientists and equipment to measure and evaluate theories, right, or theses, right? This is what this gentleman was able to interpret about dreams.
Okay.
In that quote in itself, when you step back from, I am this person's name, or I am this religion, or I grew up in this neighborhood, or I am this socio-demographic, or I am blah-diddy-blah-diddy-blah-blah, right? And you look back through history, and you look back through time to these philosophers that have this level of knowledge, why aren't people like Rumi being taught in public education sectors in elementary and preschool? Why are we not influencing tomorrow's generation about what a dream really is? Because the mainstream wants
Because it's still an interpretation. We don't know if it's what we're living right now is reality or not.
No, okay, so we know that it is not. And the mainstream has confirmed that the reality that we're living in is a hologram.
See, no, I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think this is a reality that we're living in right now. When we dream, that is a whole nother dimension. That's a whole nother. That's our what was it? The pineal gland or the third eye or whatever the fuck it is. Like I mean, that's opening up. It's opening up into a whole new realm and a whole new dimension of the world is the way I see it. I believe this is the reality that we have now. It's a shit one, but nonetheless, it's like this is our reality. And then when we dream, it takes us to a whole new level that is just unexplained, that we can only interpret. We don't really know.
And then let me debate you on this, because when you dream and you're dreaming in those dreams, especially if it's a vivid dream, if you've had a great day, you've had a decent amount of exercise, you ate good, you got the right amount of sunlight, you are emotionally balanced, everything's positive, you're going to sleep, and you have like a vivid dream. And in that vivid dream, you're talking to whoever this said person is, or this animal, or whatever. You can feel the wind.
What are those dreams called? Those are
lucid dreams.
Lucid dreams. Yeah.
So in a vivid lucid dream, you can see, you feel everything, you smell everything, you touch everything. Like when you fall off your bike in your dream, you feel the sensation of falling. But you're not doing that, right?
Yeah.
So you're actually, your physical body is not doing said things in dreams. However, you feel it 100%, though you are not getting any physical interaction at the time that the dream is happening. Nobody's around you, nobody's in your room, nothing, there's no birds outside, there's no car horns honking, there's nobody touching you, and you are in this state of sleep. Or when you are dreaming, the person that you're talking with, you can embrace them, you can feel the embrace, the argument, the emotions, the joy, the love, the desperation, the smells, the whatever is going on in that dream feels so real. However, your physical body hasn't gone anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So when a majority of people who have had lucid dreams come back in and say, man, that was crazy, it's still in my mind, I can't stop thinking about it, it really felt like it really happened, to the point where some people have lucid dreams about other people, that something tragic happened, and then they call this person, they say, hey, I had this horrible dream about you, don't go do this. And then they don't go do it, and then something bad doesn't happen, right? But they physically body never went to that vivid lucid dream scenario.
So you don't think that's another dimension in possibly your mind, or this not atmosphere, this universe?
So
you don't think when you dream and you have like a lucid dream like that, you are taking personal experiences and then moving them to another dimension?
Well, okay, based off of the mainstream definition, it says here that it's a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntary in the mind during certain stages of sleep. However, when you're in that dream, like they're trying to wrap all this thing around as to, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're trying to put a label on it, but yeah, no one really quite knows what it is.
But when you begin digging into what dreaming is, you then unravel the mainstream's blatant answer. You go to sleep, well, we don't know what happens.
Yeah.
We put sensors on your brain, and we put these machines there, and we MRI scan you, and we still don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there's just shit that's unexplained.
No, there's shit that's kept in the dark for a reason.
Okay,
So, back to Rumi, right? And back to Rumi's quote from, let's see, he died in 1273. Okay. So 800 years ago, a man in the Middle East, right, had this level of knowledge to which we do not have now. This is not something that is philosophically spoken of in mainstream society. What we're speaking of is, it's completely random and we don't know how it happens. When you have somebody from 800 years ago saying, open your eyes, for this world is only a dream. This place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it's real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. Okay? When you take that literally, it just seems, oh, that's a great positive statement, right?
Yeah.
But when you begin to dig into what are dreams? What has our government, the Central Intelligence Agency and the Pentagon and the Russian government and the Chinese government and all these huge world governments, why had they invested billions and billions of dollars into studying dreams, manipulating dreams, knowing that they can take their consciousness and project it anywhere they want in any place of time and space and be completely aware of it?
I don't know. I got nothing for you on that one. I think they're just investing money to try to, I don't know, understand it more. I mean, people have been trying to understand dreams for how long?
They understand it. They've cracked the code.
You think they have?
No, they have. Let's go to the CIA.gov right now.
Not on my fucking computer.
Well, dude, I'll go from my phone. Here's the thing: is the intelligence agencies, government word aside, the intelligence agencies have discovered what consciousness is, what reality is, what it consists of, and what we are doing when we're awake and when we're asleep. So though Google, the key to all knowledge, wants us to think they haven't figured it out.
I mean, I don't know if it's a key to all knowledge. It's a search engine.
Okay, so you can utilize Google just like going to the library.
Yeah, well, it's going to take you to more websites, so you can.
You got to know how to interpret the information that's coming to you, right?
Yeah.
But it's always best said. It's best to go straight to the horse's mouth when you want to know what's going on, right? So in 1993, let me find this article. In 1993, the Central Intelligence Agency released an article in regards to our reality being a... why am I drawing a blank? Our reality being a...
You so desperately want this to be some Matrix shit.
It is the Matrix. It is. And the thing is people don't believe that it is the Matrix because they have feelings and emotions and, they have agendas and they have expectations, right? But they don't realize. So you spend half of your time awake and you spend half of your time asleep. Mm-hmm. What are you doing when you're sleeping? What are you doing when you're sleeping? Because you don't remember all your dreams.
No.
But you, not your physical body, but who you are, then leaves all time and space. For example, when I fell asleep on the dad chair a week ago or 2 weeks ago after getting my stitches out, and I drift off for those moments, literally 3 to 5 minutes, I'm gone, I'm waking back up. It felt like I was gone forever. Mm-hmm. I woke up, the first time I woke up, I forgot what day it was. I didn't know what day, what time, what week. I didn't even remember cutting my finger.
You don't think that was a bunch of trauma and exhaustion all kind of grouped into one where it just took you out?
But I drifted off to sleep and I went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? I went somewhere else consciously. Not my brain, who I am, went somewhere else to get out of my body for a moment because, yes, trauma, because of exhaustion. So I needed to temporarily leave my physical body so I could just step out of it and get away from the pain and the shock and all that, right?
Yeah.
Momentarily, I'm out of it. But when I step back into it from my dream, I feel like I've been gone for hours. Mm-hmm. How do you explain that? Coming from a human physical perception, right? Coming from, I'm this piddly little human, I've got maybe 60 to 99 years to live, and this is all the information and indoctrination that I've received growing up. How do you explain when you drift off and you're only asleep 5 minutes, but you felt like you were gone days, weeks, hours?
You just can't. There's just no two ways around that. It's hard to explain that kind of shit.
You can explain it.
You can have an interpretation of it, but there's still no answers that are really set in stone when it comes to that. Everyone's dreams are different. Everyone's bodies are different.
Body aside, when you dream, your consciousness, not you, your soul, what powers your body,
is taking you to whatever multi-dimensional universe on that one.
Okay. But the mainstream wants us to believe that it's completely...
No, I get what you're saying. Like, I mean, I know you want to try to throw this on MSM and shit like that.
No.
I get that.
I'm not trying to throw it on anybody.
But at the same time, it's just like, okay, you can Google search anything, and this is what the answer, because they're just like, fuck, we don't know. This is what you got. And you know what? You don't have to explain a dream to someone, because when you go to sleep, something fucking happens. You don't even need to look that up. That's like, how do I breathe? It just, you do it. Mm-hmm. There's just no two ways around that. Can you Google search breathe? Sure.
Okay, so
it's gonna fucking it's gonna say you're inhaling oxygen and exhaling CO2, and this is just how your body works. Okay, well, your brain is gonna tell you to do shit. That's just how it fucking works, and you can try to interpret it all you want. You can try to label it all you want. It's just doing what you're designed to do.
But who designed that?
I don't know. Don't even try that God shit.
But it has nothing to do with God. Let's talk about dreams.
Okay. I don't know who designed it.
Okay.
I don't think there's going to be a guy behind the fucking curtain like Wizard of Oz. The green god or whatever the fuck his name is.
So, okay, we're talking about the physical aspects of falling asleep and dreaming, right? But let's talk about the different aspects of consciousness. Because
there probably is different levels of consciousness. I'm sure there is.
And they react with your dreams.
Okay.
So you have the lower subconsciousness.
Yeah.
You have conscious, right? I'm awake, I'm aware, I can see, smell, touch. I'm, interpreting all this information that's coming at me, right?
You're talking about lucid dream?
No, I'm talking about you're awake, right? Like,
we're
conscious right now having this conversation, right?
Yeah.
And then there's your higher consciousness.
Okay.
So you have 3 levels of consciousness. And each one of those levels of consciousness interacts with your dreams that you remember bringing back into this reality.
So you're talking about the Confucius, the Gandhis, the fucking, the Tibetan monks are on that higher level of consciousness, I'm guessing?
Okay, so we have different parts of our brain.
Yeah.
And at the lower part of our brain is what's known as the reptilian part of the brain.
Yeah.
That's the fight or flight fear response mechanism,
yeah.
right? And at the forefront of the brain is known as the God mind, right? This is where the seat of God is. If you go and look at Leonardo da Vinci's painting of the Sistine Chapel, he has the arm reaching out to the man on the cloud. Well, if you look at that whole painting, Leonardo da Vinci painted the brain, is what it is, right? So the higher consciousness sits at the forefront in the front of the brain. So does joy, happiness, opportunity, optimism. All this sits up here at the front of the brain.
Inside out people.
Right. And the reptilian part sits in the fear aspect of it, right? Well, if you knew that all of us were in this dream, all 7.5 billion of us were in this dream, and this dream is not reality because it's not reality, and I'll get to those articles in a minute, and you knew everybody was dreaming in this reality, right? And you wanted to control that reality, you would have same stable information across all platforms, right? I sort of lost track of where I was going.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow where the fuck you're going with this too.
Let me find
are you
so with the
you're saying we're all in a bottle and we're all fucking dreaming and then now you're gonna say that the CIA and all these government agencies are controlling 7.5 billion people while we're sleeping.
No.
Is that what you're getting at? That sounds like what you're fucking trying to get at.
The Central Intelligence Agency is not controlling all that.
NSA, well, whatever the fuck. All these agents, all these different countries and everything else, you think they're just controlling fucking everyone. Which they probably are, but whatever.
Yeah, so...
I don't know about dream-wise, but...
Okay.
I don't foresee that being a dream-wise, where really when it comes down to it. I mean, I feel like everyone's just completely different on that one. Because, sometimes you'll have dreams where you're... I don't know, fucking just wilding out. Like, I'm talking like you're riding a fucking unicorn and you're cruising around in space and everything else. And then you have other ones where it's just like, it's real, it's reality, it's the everyday life kind of shit, There's the fantasy ones and then the reality fucking dreams. So it just, that's why I feel is more the fact that everyone's dreams are completely different. You can't control them. You don't know where they go. I mean, it's going to a different dimension. It could be a parallel universe for all we fucking know. But no one is really ever going to know until, I don't know, probably you die. And you have all the answers right there.
All right, found it.
What you got?
So this is from the Department of Defense, approved for release on September 10th, 2003, from the Department of Army, the U.S. Operational Group, Army Intelligence. So this is the analysis and assessment of the gateway process is what it's called.
Okay, what you got?
So this is from Fort Meade, Maryland. Let's see here. Let me find it.
Well, they tested a bunch of soldiers and they tried to fucking control their dreams or something?
Not really. Let me find out. Introduction. Let's see here. Alright. Introduction. In order to describe the Monroe Institute technique for achieving altered states of consciousness, the gateway experience involving brain hemisphere synchronization or hemisync, the most effective way to begin this briefly profile the basic mechanics which underlay operations of related methods such as hypnosis, transcendental meditation, and biofeedback. It is easiest to effectively describe what gateway is by beginning with a short description of those associated techniques that share some common aspects with the gateway experience, but which are nevertheless different. In this way, we can develop a frame of reference at the outset which will provide useful concepts and explain and understand gateway by comparison as we proceed. So then it goes into hypnosis, right? And then it goes into transcendental meditation, and then it goes into the brain, how the brain works, right? And then it moves on, biofeedback, gateway, and hemisync. Now that we have briefly profiled the basic mechanics of the principal technique for altering or expanding consciousness, which share some of the objectives and or methods employed in the gateway experience, we may proceed to focus on what the techniques actually involves. Fundamentally, the gateway experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of the brainwave output between the left and right hemispheres so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. The spheres... Let me turn this because my eyes are getting old. So basically right here...
That's pretty cool.
So this was funded for and done by our United States government, and what they have figured out, and I'm going to send this to you because you do need to read it because it has a lot to do with dreams.
So it seems like they're trying to get into the conscious mind and be able to help increase, what'd you say, like fucking physical strength and a couple other things.
So right
and then
here,
also to attach to...
It goes even deeper. It's like 29 pages long, and this next part is number 11, consciousness and energy. Okay?
All right.
Before our explanation can proceed any further, it is essential to define the mechanism by which the human mind exercises the function known as consciousness, and to describe the way in which that consciousness operates to deduce meaning from the stimuli which receives it. To do this, we will first consider the fundamental character of the material world in which we have our physical existence in order to accurately perceive the raw stuff with our consciousness must work. The first point which needs to be made is that the two terms, matter and energy, tend to be misleading if taken to indicate two distinctly different states of existence in the physical world that we know it. Indeed, if the term matter is taken to mean solid substance as opposed to energy, which is understood to mean a force of some sort, then the use of the former is entirely misleading. Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of the atom and the nucleus itself are made up of nothing more than oscillating energy grids. Solid matter, in the strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. Rather, atomic structure is composed of oscillating energy grids surrounding by other oscillating energy grids. A pendulum, Isaac Bentov gives the following figures. The energy grid which composes the nucleus of the atom vibrates at approximately 10 to the 22nd degree Hertz, which means followed by 10 by 22 zeros. At 70 degrees Fahrenheit, an atom oscillates at the rate of 10 to 15 degree Hertz. An entire molecule composed of a number of atoms bound together in a single energy field vibrates in the range of 10 to the 9 Hertz. A live human cell vibrates at approximately 10 to the 3rd Hertz. The point to be made is that the entire human being, brain, consciousness, and all is, like the universe which surrounds him, nothing more or less than an extraordinarily complex system of energy fields. The so-called states of matter are actually variances in the state of energy, and human consciousness is a function of the interaction of energy in two opposite states, motion versus rest, in a manner described in the following paragraph. This is number 12. This is where they tell us that we're living in a holographic universe.
How in the fuck did you interpret that with that? I'm sorry, I zoned out a little bit when you were fucking going on and on and on
so
and on.
So the thing is, I'm going on and on and on here because the Central Intelligence Agency, our United States government that's trying to figure out what reality we live in, how it works, all the people that fund all the scientists through the third-party agencies who want to know what dreams are, it's consciousness.
Okay, you also said that we were made up of energy.
Yeah, energy fields.
Yeah, energy fields.
Yep.
Okay, we've discussed this before. Yep. Yes, that I will give from it. But
this basically states that the reality that we're experiencing is not solid. This table, this microphone, you and me, the cars, the car crashes, the bullets. It's all a perception of a reality that we think exists in the energy fields that our physical bodies perceive.
Okay, well then how can you fucking explain, like I said earlier, where you got the fantasy dreams and then you've got the reality dreams? How can you fucking... So when we dream, that is our reality, but in our reality it could be fantasy?
So...
What?
Okay, you don't remember anything prior to being born.
No.
Okay.
No one does.
That's not true.
Well, I mean, I guess you can have a different...
There are people...
different lives or
past lives.
Past lives. Yeah.
And there are thousands upon thousands of documented cases from official scientists, authorities on the subject that have documented past lives. People that have come back in, remembered that their husband or wife was this, they lived at this address...
We talked about that in our first podcast on that one, about how the reincarnation and the recycling of fucking souls and shit like that. That was my interpretation
exactly.
of it. But yes.
So just because you don't remember what you were doing before you can remember this current physical experience of which doesn't exist, because it doesn't. If you look at the smallest atom and you go to the nuclei and you go to the very basis of it, there's more nothing than there is anything,
yes.
And it's only spinning energy fields.
Yes.
This isn't here. The only reason we think that this table is here, or that you're here or I'm here, is because our bodies and our quantum computers are giving us physical haptic feedback. None of this exists, but because you and I are here, and all these other people are here, and we're all here at the same time, we're sharing this shared experience of a dream. Now, you remember the movie Inception?
Yes.
Okay. And in Inception, they put these people to sleep, and they talk them and walk them through their dreams, and then they jump in the dreams with them.
Yes.
Okay. There's more truth in movies than there is in the news.
Okay.
The Central Intelligence Agency, the same people who put out this article in the 70s, who did this in the 70s.
I thought it was 93.
No, they released it in 93.
Oh.
This was done in the 70s.
All right,
okay?
all right.
Before we had MRI machines and all these fancy tools. This study was done. This is verified information. It is agreed upon with all other central government intelligence agencies.
Okay.
In the movie Inception, they go into these people's dreams with them to help them mold the dream, and then it actually changes the reality that they're experiencing.
Okay.
Now imagine that there wasn't 7.5 billion people on this planet. Imagine there was 50 people here, and all 50 of you are having the same shared dream, and nobody ever told you that you can't fly. You just levitate because you want to levitate, just like you can in a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't think that this reality is a dream because we have strong emotions, we have exhaustion, we have all these other things that seem so physically real, but we only spend half our time here. And then we spend the other half of our time, God knows where else, because mainstream hasn't studied it, but the intelligence agencies have figured it out, and they don't want the general public knowing that you and I control this dream. However, we only control 0.000000001% of the 7.5 other billion people who are sharing this same dream that we're sharing. Because you are energy and consciousness, and you exist beyond this reality in alternate densities, right? Higher consciousness, subconsciousness. You exist beyond this, and you are at a higher self, projecting yourself into this dream reality.
No, I don't know. You're kind of losing me on that one again too. On that one, like I don't know. I just don't.
So
I don't think that way. I don't see it that way, honestly.
Why not?
And then if you think about in Inception, remember how his wife kills herself because she jumps out the window, and that's when he's just like, no, this is not a fucking dream. This is a reality. And in reality, you can die. And she does. She jumps out the fucking window and she dies. Because in dreamland, anything is possible, but in reality, there is death.
I died in dreams.
Well, I've died in dreams too.
But I didn't
But
die.
you wake right up.
So
You wake right up
You
because
do.
no one knows
Hold on.
what happens after you die.
And that takes me right back to this gentleman from the 1200s.
This fucking Rumi guy. Okay.
So, and Rumi
and
says,
then, all right,
this
he
place
says,
is a
and then
dream.
you just laugh.
Yeah. But only a sleeper considers this real. Now, what do they mean by sleeper?
Someone that is just go with the flow kind of thing. I know you're thinking of the sheeple.
No, I'm not thinking sheeple or anything like that.
Just go with
a
the flow.
sleeper is somebody that considers everything that's going on is what it is because everybody who's in the dream is all doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. That's a sleeper, right? When you become... Yeah, no, it is.
What?
Okay, for example, I've become awakened to a lot of things in our reality that you don't want to agree exist.
No.
The only reason...
Because I don't think they fucking exist.
The only reason you don't think they exist is because you haven't gone to look for yourself. And the reason you haven't gone to look for yourself because it will rapidly turn your dream into a nightmare. And that's where we're going to pause and come back for the second half of our show. What is a nightmare?